Gallimera, Gallimera, Gallimera. Good morning, good morning, good morning. And can I introduce to you little Lilybet? She's the only kitten that survived from the ones that our lovely little sweetie had. And here she is. And we decided that it's 3 weeks, believe it or not, to the day that little Lilybet was born. We named her after the Queen. Because she was born obviously when Prince Philip was having his funeral, bless her. So it was a little name that Prince Philip used to give the Queen, or a family gave her. She'd always been known as Lilybet when she was younger. And so we decided to call her Lilybet, which we thought was very fitting. The only thing is, if we discover that she's a boy, we might have to change the name, because at the moment we're not quite sure what sex she is, if she is a she. We're being very 2000s, aren't we? But we'll wait and see. But I have a feeling that she is a girl, but we'll find out. But anyway, there you go. That's your little look. We sort of kept her out of the limelight a bit, basically because we just wanted her to get well. So there you go. That is little Lilybet and Sweetie, and she's been a really good mum. She did have her in the little dome here for nearly 3 weeks, and it's only last night or this morning in the early hours she popped her in the box for safety, and then obviously went to eat. And then she's come back and she's climbed back in the box with a little baby, and little baby's now feeding. So there you go. There's a look at our little Lilybet at the moment. Bless her, she's a little sweetie. She's got a little black tail with a little white tip on the end, so we'll be able to identify her as well. Right, so gonna go now out onto the veranda. Jane is manning the phones this morning. Thank you for those people who are calling in about shopping and shops and everything else. But the weather today, as you can see, for a Good Friday, is absolutely awesome today. It's warm, it's hot, it is absolutely glorious. Thank you, Amanda, for your weather forecast. I'm going to quickly scroll back to that at some point, just basically to see if there is talk of rain or change of weather going on, because yesterday it started off lovely yesterday and it all went a bit dull and a bit dim later on in the day. But anyway, that's the weather this morning. Looking towards Amberlockley, Kerry, and also Pantocrator direction. It's looking really nice towards there. Absolutely fantastic. Amanda is saying happy Easter. I'm just going to scroll back, Amanda. Check your weather forecast. She says, good morning, Ginge. Sunny and warm today. High of 24 degrees. Will feel like 26. It really felt hot yesterday, even though it was muggy and dim. Enjoy and have a good day. So there you go. That's the way over that side of the area. And then as you rush around to the other side, we look over there and we'll see what it's like over here. It is, oh my God, absolute glorious sunshine. Getting ready for this bank holiday weekend where you are in the UK, and our Easter weekend here. Good Friday at the moment here. Absolutely glorious hot sun. Also, people were looking at pictures of Magdalena's yesterday. Dennis and Yanni have been busy sorting stuff out up there, painting and getting things ready for when the word is given. It's quite strange looking on memories yesterday from the years before that we'd all be at work. Now, the bar would have probably opened round about this date. Or even yesterday or whatever, and we would be basically heralding the beginning of the tourist season. But no, we are still like greyhounds in a trap waiting for the arrival of people. Thank you for those people last night that were sending me information on cancelled holidays as well, which has had some people worrying as well about what's going to happen for the season. And just before I switch the camera around, can I just thank the lovely Gary, I don't know if you can see that, for his picture that he sent me. There's a better image of it up online on my Facebook page of the Soul Cream van on the road with me bringing the Northern Soul to the people. I really appreciate that, mate. That really touched me yesterday. It was lovely thought.
and also the poem that went with it as well. Again, you can see that on my Facebook page. Thank you once again for that. It really made my day yesterday seeing that up online. So once again, thank you. Cheers for that, buddy. Right, let's have a quick look at what's been going on in the way of things happening here in Greece. There has been a lot been going on in the 24 hours since I last saw you. So anyway, here comes the news then. Right, so it's the 30th of April, the last day of April. Can you believe it? It's Good Friday as well here in Greece. It's day 175 of the lockdown and the COVID in the last 24 hours. Interestingly, we haven't had a full COVID picture in the last 24 hours, and I'll explain that once I start to give you the stats, all right? Now, in the last 24 hours, infections are down. The last time I reported to you, 2,481 new infections across Greece. Well, today, the number is 2,435 new infections across Greece. So that is down. Total of infections since the pandemic started, 342,908. Okay. Now, when it comes to entries into the country, unfortunately, that is up. The last figure I gave you was 2. It went up by 5 yesterday of people identified with the virus coming into the country. Now, according to the national statistics, no stats had been given for the Ionian as to what the Ionian scores on the doors were. So no cases from Lefkada, Kefalonia, Corfu or Zakynthos. However, locally, I can report that there was one confirmed case on Thursday here on Zakynthos, and according to the latest information, that was up till about 10 o'clock last night. There was only one case that was recorded here on the island. Also, again, some good news, especially for Easter, was one person was discharged from the ICU and is now being moved to another ward, and his health has also improved. So in the coronavirus clinic at the moment, Zakynthos Hospital has 5 people that are being treated for coronavirus. 3 are in the intensive care unit, of which 2 were in a state of incubation. So I would think that one of those, that number has dropped because obviously somebody has condition has improved and been moved to another ward. So anyway, and it has been identified at the moment as a male, but no more information than that. So hopefully Easter for them is going to turn out to be a good Easter. Right, so at the moment then, when it comes to positive cases on Zakynthos since the beginning of the year, we've had 523. This month, we've had 177 cases for April. March we had 184, so the comparison between the two is there's not a lot in it, to be quite honest. And interestingly enough, Jane was just looking at the figures for Greece when the lockdown started last year. We're actually at the same level of lockdown that we were for last year. And when we look at how the figure had dropped right down to literally nothing, he then where he kept us in lockdown, he then released us from lockdown, and the figures has gone way back up again. So again, proving maybe the lockdowns don't work at the moment. But anyway, it's proving interesting, and it's also making some people very twitchy at the moment as well. Well, when it comes to deaths at the moment, I'm afraid the death rate has gone up as well within the last 24 hours. We did report to you 63. And now it is 73 new deaths across Greece have been reported. The death toll since the pandemic started, 10,315, which when you look at that in comparison to a lot of other countries, those figures are actually very low, all right? So once again, our condolences to those people who have lost family or friends at this time, especially with Easter on the way. Good morning. That's our neighbour, the cyclist. Basically, it's sad, but in the overall picture for the rest of Europe and the rest of the world, our figures are very, very low in comparison to other countries. Also, as well, when it comes to cases in critical condition, this is causing a little bit of alarm now at the moment. I did report to you the other day that they were actually down. 805 people in incubation was reported to you last time. At the moment, that figure has crept up to 817, of which 514 are male and 303 are female. So again, at the end of the day, I do know yesterday, looking through this morning also at the Greek media, there is a twitchiness now that the figures have started to rise, especially as we are very close now to, one, the lockdown stopping, and two, the tourist season starting. But as we've always said, there comes a time when you just have to start taking risks for the sake of the economy, because at the end of the day, the country needs to have tourism. It needs to start making money. It's got an awful lot of debt now that it's been shoveled into because of the pandemic and because of what has gone on basically within the last, when you think about it, over a year now, where money has been lost, okay? And that money's got to start to come back. Anyway, today's news then, the General Secretariat of Commerce Protection announced timings for shops. Now, I've already had phone calls this morning. Supermarkets this morning opened at 9 a.m., okay, and they will then close at 7 p.m. Today. Just be aware, while on Saturday, supermarkets will open again at 7 a.m. and they will close to 7 p.m. However, other retail stores at the moment are not allowed to open until 1 o'clock today. The reason for that is that normally there'd be a procession of the cross through the town and all of that, even though, as far as I'm aware, all of that has been cancelled. That is not going to take place. Retail shops are staying closed up until 1 p.m. as a mark of respect. Okay, while the supermarkets stay can open. We've had people phoning us up this morning saying the supermarkets here in Zakynthos are absolutely packed. And Jane and I were so pleased that yesterday afternoon we decided to go out and do our Easter shopping yesterday. It seems that was a good move, because at the moment, Lidl, A and B are absolutely rammed. We had to queue a bit to get in yesterday, but from the sounds of the reports this morning, people are phoning into us at the moment. Not as bad. But today, if you're going to get your food, your supplies from your little retail shops, don't forget 1 o'clock they're going to reopen. Okay, but the supermarkets are open. And my advice to you is go shopping late in the afternoon. It's a Greek thing. They all like to do everything first thing in the morning. Gets to about, say, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, it all goes quiet because they've all gone home, sorting stuff out for the kids, etc. And also they like their little sleep in the afternoon as well. And you might find it might be better to go round to get your things at that time. If there's any product you're after or anything that you've seen in the specials, you might miss out. But if you just want a hassle-free environment to go and get your stuff, go late in the afternoons as well, okay, because it's going to be crazy. Also, as well, an interesting case, again, COVID related. Misdemeanors caught in the city of Ceres, which is in the northeastern area of Greece. They sentenced a man to jail on Wednesday for refusing to wear a mask. Anyway, the 37-year-old was found guilty of violating measures put in place to prevent the spread of the coronavirus, and he's been ordered to do 40 days in prison. However, he's only going to do 20, and the remaining 20 days will be a suspended sentence. Anyway, legal experts told the state-run Athens Macedonia news agency that the new penal code provides for the execution of part of the sentence and the suspension of the remainder if the judge deems it necessary to prevent the accused from committing other criminal acts. Anyway, it turns out the man was said to be a repeat offender. So whether he's been fined in the past for not wearing a mask or he's been warned in the past for not wearing a mask, he's now serving 20 days in jail. So this is how serious at the moment Greece takes it at the moment. So once again, make sure you got your mask on. €300 fine is a pain in the jack, but doing 40 days in jail is an even bigger pain in the jack. And we just got to play the game. I don't think it's right. I don't think it's fair. But at the end of the day, that is the law, I'm afraid, and we have to abide by the law. But anyway, I'll be interested to see what your comments are on that down below as I scroll through. Right, another story that has come into the media, which affects me directly, all right? Banning of music in cafes and restaurants. Yes, when we're allowed on Monday, the 3rd of May, cafes and restaurants and bars are allowed to reopen for outdoor service, okay, only. It seems that they've announced a decision that no music will be allowed. Now, what do they mean by no music? They're talking about loud music. They're talking about DJs playing music, or whether they're talking about a bit of background music that you always have just to create a bit of ambience and a bit of atmosphere. Well, it seems at the moment it's been banned, and people have been asking, why are you banning music? And the reason is, a doctor has explained this. Now, the decision for the ban has been greeted with bemusement. That is the word I would say, and also a lot of derision. And I've got to be honest with that and all. It's me out of a job, basically. Anyway, the committee of experts advising the government recommended the measures to be taken into account was that viruses are transmitted through the air, and that because of loud music, people would be obliged to lean in to listen to conversation. And while they're leaning in, because they're not wearing a mask, because they're eating or drinking, then there is a danger that vapors from your speech and your spittle as you talk would be transferred to those listening to your dulcet conversation about what's going on in life. And so that is the reason why that rule has been put in place. And as the wording says, the music obliges people to raise their voices and make a greater effort to be heard, and people lean closer to hear. And this is the sole explanation of the ban, all right? So there you go. That is the reason why. Oh, and the bloke who's actually made this reason is a guy called Aniston Extiliados. He's the president of the Pandemic Medical Association, and he was discussing this on the TV channel Open, that was the reason that this rule has been put in place for next Wednesday. So again, that's going to be interesting to see if they'll be in checking to make sure no music is playing, and you'll not only get a fine for too loud music, but also a fine for having music on. And you can't go into a bar or a restaurant with no music, no bit of ambient noise. It creates a very dead atmosphere, and you'll also notice that people don't stop very long either. But anyway, we'll wait and see how this plays out. We'll see how the Greeks handle this. I can understand the rule of not wanting people to dance and move about, because again, the no standing rule is still in force as well as of May the 3rd. But the music ban is, we'll see how it goes, see how it affects me. Okay. Anyway, also, on a bit more of a serious note, the State Minister Georgios Garapatis said on television last night that people who are bedridden and infirm will be vaccinated against COVID-19 in their homes. Now, they've been talking about this weeks ago, but it looks like now it's finally going to happen. But they're going to be vaccinated with the Johnson & Johnson jab. The inoculation drive for this group will actually start on May the 18th. And the J&J jab requires only one dose, which is good, so they don't have to do a repeat visit. And also it can be stored in a regular refrigerator, so therefore the handling of it is making it very much easier as well for people. Anyway, it looks like the European Parliament at the moment has approved the issue of the green passport for those inoculated against coronavirus, but its position differs significantly from the Commission's and the European Council's. Anyway, all sides will have to work at full speed if they want the certificate issued before the end of June. The European Parliament's main demand is that the certificate, which it wants to be renamed the COVID-19 certificate from the Commission's Green Passport, apply only to people inoculated with vaccines approved by the European Medical Agency. Now, if approved, this provision would exclude the Hungarian and also the Slovakia, and would also, which both use the Russia's Sputnik 5 vaccine. Hungary has also used China's Sinopharm vaccine, widely considered to be of dubious effectiveness. Now, that's the problem when you have a copy made in China, shall we say. But let's not go there, Ginge. That's a whole other question, all right? Anyway, the EMA has not actually approved either the Sputnik 5 or the Chinese variant. Okay, and the European Council's common position is that member states must have the option to use vaccines not approved by the EMA, and adopting the Parliament's decision could spark a serious clash. So they're all infighting between themselves, typical of the EU at the moment. The MEPs also want people to carry such certificates to be exempted from quarantine rules, taking away the decision from the member states. While the other document will primarily be used for travel within the EU, it will be up to each member state to require it domestically, for example, to admit people into restaurants and cinemas. Now, that's the one thing I don't want to see, is the fact that if you have this vaccination and you have this certificate, that you are then excluded from restaurants and cinemas, because common sense says the more people that have the vaccination anyway, the more herd immunity that's being created. So it becomes a bit of a white elephant to a degree. People like myself who want the freedom of choice, who want to decide whether they have the vaccine or not, are going to be penalised. But again, as I said to somebody else the other day, I will only have the vaccine if it is I'm being basically blackmailed into it, because I can't travel, I can't go see my family, and I can't go see my mum who's in a nursing home. So that is the only reason that I want it. But again, I look at this and I do worry as to where it is going to go. Anyway, the MEPs consider lifting the quarantine for the certificate holders is a crucial issue for the free movement of people within the Schengen area, a movement guaranteed by the Lisbon Treaty of 2007, which I'm not sure if we're still members of that now that we've left the EU. I'm talking about Britain, of course. Anyway, Juan Fernando Lopez, I like that name, Juan Fernando Lopez Aguilar, the socialist rapporteur of the certificate proposition, said the Schengen area is in a very bad state because of all the unillustrated restrictions of all sorts on cross-border movement imposed by individual member states. The Parliament also wants the coronavirus diagnostic test that allow cross-border movement issued for free. And I'll agree 100% with that. If you want to cross a border, it should be for free. You shouldn't pay for it. It should be free. Now, looking at the UK, we are obviously out of the system as far as that is concerned. But even then, Boris, make it free. Let people travel for nothing, okay? Or make it affordable. 15 euros in France, that's the price, 15 euros. It is only 8 euros for a self-test here down at the, to go get a self-testing kit down at the pharmacy. And again, talking to Dino yesterday, he had to pay £98 for a test to be able to drive. It needs to be affordable. Some families can't afford this. And again, when you've got the test costing more than the flight, okay, to come on holiday, then there is something seriously wrong in that. All right. So there you go. Think on. We're still waiting for his announcement as to what is going to happen in regards free movement of travel for people for the holiday season. Anyway, also as well, Skiradis Tharadas, Greece's most prominent epidemiologist, who has served as the chief scientific advisor to the Greek government during the pandemic, announced on Thursday that the country will begin taking part in clinical trials of COVID-19 treatment out of Israel. Yet 2 hospitals in Greece will soon be taking part in the trials, which will come on the heels of the news out of the Pfizer Corporation this week that this testing is a new pill that it hopes will cure the virus. Anyway, we're all participating in these new trials with great enthusiasm, Tewodris said. He declared to reporters on Thursday, the study utilizes a new method of transferring a new medicine based on exosomes and nanoparticles that particulate in interterricular activities. I think basically what he's saying in a nutshell, you stick it up your nose and you squirt it, and that is the way that it is brought into the body. Anyway, Zakynthos also made his remarks during a meeting in Athens with the Israeli professor of medicine, that is Nadir Aber, who is responsible for the new COVID-19 drug, which was developed at the medical center Ichlof in Tel Aviv. It is very promising method, according to the data from the clinical trials in Israel. The Greek epidemiologist added, we are moving forward by conducting phase 2 trials here in Greece, in which we will elevate the parameters like safety, dosology, and efficiency, he noticed as well. So again, another new another new vaccine on the way. I remember this was months ago that we were given this free by the Israeli government for us to trials here in Greece. Now it looks like that they've come round to starting the trialsing of it, and we will see how that works out. Anyway, the proposed coronavirus treatment will be tested at both the Skirati and Atheion hospitals in Athens. And also, just as another side story to that, the American pharmaceutical giant Pfizer, after its great triumph producing the world's first coronavirus vaccine, is now working towards developing a single pill that would work to cure COVID-19. Anyway, the pill is currently in phase 1 clinical trials, which will be announced, were announced last Tuesday in the US and Belgium, and it could be available to the public by the end of the year. And in some ways, popping a pill to me seems a lot more nicer than having the injection. And now for something completely unrelated to COVID, all right? Yes, the Red Arrows are in Greece. Yes, the Red Arrows aerobatics team of the Royal Air Force, they have been training actually here in Greece, getting ready for their pre-season. They have been actually training at the Tangria Military Airport, which is about 70 kilometres north of Athens. This is basically, it's known as Exercise Springhawk, which is their deployment where they come over to basically polish their displays before the pilots are allowed to don the red jumpsuit and the ground crew don their blue jumpsuits for their display season that will start soon. Now, normally, in my experience with the Red Arrows, when I was at RF Akatiri, they always came to Cyprus and they would do their training there. And it was like a big thing on the base. We used to get a free Red Arrows show every day. We'd watch them training, watch them doing their maneuvers and everything else like that. But I think the reason why, and that's me just surmising this, the reason that they've come to Greece to train, they're saying it's about the weather, about how great the weather is. The weather is part of it, which is very true. But I think with everything that's been going on in the Eastern Mediterranean, where RAF Akatiri is in Cyprus, very close to Turkey, and also with all the saber rattling that's going on with Greece and Turkey, and the Americans as well, and the Russians in there as well. Maybe for clarity, let's not train there, seeing 9 aircraft flying around with smoke trails going out the back. That may cause an increased tension in people who are just looking for an excuse, maybe to kick something off, all right? So I think the wise decision was that they've moved somewhere else out of the way of that. And obviously, Greece has been the chosen location. Also, the other ulterior motive is British Aerospace that make the aircraft that the Red Arrows fly, which is the Hawk T1. You never know. They might be trying to push a sales deal as well, using the Red Arrows as a bit of a, look what this aircraft can do. Look how fantastic it is. And it doesn't take a lot to stick a few guns and bombs on it as well. And it then becomes an active weapon as well as just a training aircraft and a bloody good display aircraft for flying. So I think there might be a little bit of overseas push there from British Aerospace to actually sell some more aircraft to Britain, because we need to make a little bit of money, that is for sure. Anyway, and my finally story, which I know the ladies will probably love this story, and the gentlemen will be rather sad at this story. Jennifer Aniston, the actress. Jennifer Aniston, the actress, made famous by Friends, always been a little bit unlucky in love. She was married to Brad Pitt, and then he ran off and went off with Angelina Jolie. That all ended in tears. But Jennifer Aniston, it seems, has found herself a new man, yes? And he's a Greek man, a Greek lover, yes? And he's also very funny, according to the reports. And he's also Greek as well. And he also he's in 30 Rock TV. I've never watched it, so I haven't got a clue what it's about. But anyway, his name is Jason Sudeikis. They were working together on a film called Bounty Hunter. And during filming, Jason and her got very friendly as friends, because Sudeikis was married at the time. I see a lot of women going, oh, we've heard that one before. Oh. So they were friends. Anyway, it seems that the actor has since divorced, and Jen had got back in touch with him, and they seem to have kindled a little spark between themselves. And Jennifer says, oh no, an insider, probably Meghan Markle, said they talked for hours and really opened up to each other. And after a while, Jen realised that she missed him, all right, in between their kind of on-set dates. Anyway, she finds him hilarious. He just is what Jen needs, a solid, low-key, funny man. It's early days, but she's quite thrilled. Anyway, Jason is Greek and funny. And this is not me saying this, all right? This is what the article says. We hope this one is a keeper. But anyway, there you go. Have you got an opinion on that? Let me know. I'll be keen to see where... I don't normally do gossip, but it just seems we need something to uplift us with all the bad news at the moment. Anyway, let's have a look. See who's tuning in on this Good Friday afternoon or morning. Pam Stott, lovely to have you tuning in. Alpha Ling is looking in. Emma Markle is looking in as well. Amanda Gregory is looking in. And thank you for that fantastic weather forecast as always. Jan Lawrence is looking in as well. Monica Magnell is also tuning in. There's a new name. I don't think I've seen you before. Nice to have you tuning in as well. Heather Nash is watching as well. Amanda Gregory says, Happy Easter to you and Jane. And thank you very much for that as well. Brian, I'm going to give you Easter Sunday off, all right? I'm not going to do any broadcast Easter Sunday. Jane and I are just going to have a completely free Easter Sunday, and we'll pick up from where we left off from the Saturday. Because again, it's just nice to be able to chill out and not have to worry about anything for the following day. Anyway, Brian Cardle is watching as well. Mark Tiley is watching. Nice to have you looking in. Alf Ling says, Happy Easter to you both. Thank you very much there, Alf. Brian Cardle says, Good morning, Ginge. Emma Marco says, Good morning. Happy Good Friday to you and Jane. We will be visiting hubby's parents on Easter Sunday. Can't wait. Nothing beats a Greek Easter. And that is so true, because I remember your husband is actually from Cyprus, isn't he? And probably you'll probably remember the Easters in Cyprus over there. Anyway, Matt Williams is also tuning in as well. Heather Nash is also looking in. Morning to you both. You and Jane, beautiful weather there. Wish it was hot here. Only 5 degrees here now. Heather's in Prestatyn at the moment in a holiday caravan park there for a few days. Anyway, I hope you have a nice time there. Lovely. Brenda Carhill says, looks lovely there. Can't wait for July. Maureen Elves is round the corner. We saw Maureen yesterday for the first time in months. We know there's a turkey in their freezer from Christmas, and at some point we may get to eat it together. But anyway, lovely to talk to you yesterday at Lidl, in the queue, waiting to go in. Also, Andy Johnson is watching as well. Hilary Rogers, nice to see you. You must be excited. Easter on the way this weekend. Christine Wildridge is looking in. Raina Pete Dillon over there in Manchester. Shane Bowen up there on Exmoor tuning in as well. Nice to see you, Shane. Vicky Lowe is watching as well. Steve Taggart is watching. Lindsay Lamb also getting ready for Easter as well. Shane Bowen says, Gallimero, Calo Pascal, Ginge, happy resurrection. And happy Easter. Have a great weekend. We will. And don't forget that I'm broadcasting this weekend on Beats Radio. The Dance Anthem show tonight goes out UK time. at 7 p.m. All right, and it will then be repeated on Saturday at 4 p.m. in the afternoon UK time. And then the Northern Soul Show goes out at 5 p.m. UK time on Sunday. All right, I think that's right. Sunday, or is it 7 p.m. on Sunday? Yeah, no, 5 p.m. Sunday. That's 7. No, it's. I think the timing they've given me there is wrong. But anyway, the show is out on Sunday. I'll put more information up as that because it's a bank holiday weekend in the UK, and everybody's going to have a great time from the sounds of it. Rob Davis is watching as well. Simon Grinley over in Wendover is tuning in. You must remember the red arrows flying above Akateria at our time, mate. Nice to see you tuning in. Also, Christine Coldwell is watching as well. Nice to have you tuning in, my lovely. And also, big shout out to Michael as well, my son. We were chatting away last night about Scar. It was lovely, it was. Anyway, Gaz Collins is also tuning in from Harrogate. Nice to have you tuning in, big buddy. Nice to see you. He says, morning, Gunner. Also, Barry Leatherdale is tuning in as well. Gaz Collins is watching. Catherine Ling here on the island is tuning in as well. Julie White is also looking in. Morning, she says, from a sunny South Yorkshire. And Heather Nash says, I'm back in Birmingham. So looking forward to your show later if it's on today. Yes, the show today is on. Don't worry about that. Once again, 3 o'clock your time in the UK, which is 5 o'clock my time here, with requested inspiration. I tell you what, yesterday I was just looking at stuff, and I've got some tunes that haven't been requested, which are my inspiration, which I'm going to chuck in the show this afternoon, which again, I'm hoping you're going to enjoy. But any requests, just pop them in the comments below, and I will definitely be playing those for you later on. Anyway, Tracy Jones is watching. Ian Daly is watching as well. Barbara Telfer is watching. Laura Koss. Lisa Kimball says, morning, Ginge. Gary Crowder, as in Leslie, Gary Crowder. Once again, thank you for that picture. That is fantastic. If you bring me the real copy of it, I'll get that framed and I'll get that on the wall. All right. Thank you for that, along with the other one as well. Fantastic for that. He says, great shirt, mate. Yeah, that's my DJ shirt. I don't know if you can see that. That's my DJ shirt. That is a Denon DJ unit. That was given to me as a gift from Wish, which I think was really nice of them because I bought that much stuff from them. They gave me a free gift, and that's what it was, a DJ T-shirt. So there you go. Thank you for noticing that. I'm really chuffed that you noticed that. He also says Happy Easter from who? That's not you saying I thought it said Billericay at first. Anyway, Dave Cramp is also tuning in as well. Nice to see you looking in, fella. Sue Parkinson is looking in. Dave Cramp says, good morning, mate. How you doing? I am doing absolutely fantastic. Gary Crowther says, I've found walking around naked works to ensure social distancing. But I'm 62 and wrinkly. I tell you what, I've been watching on YouTube. There is a TV program called Scot Squad. It's like a mock reality documentary about Scottish policing, and it is absolutely hysterical. Could I recommend it to you? Go onto YouTube, look it out. I think the police chief in it is absolutely hysterical. And there was an episode where two PCs have to go to a burglary break-in of a house of a naturist, and that just made me laugh, was the expressions on the faces of the two police people going in to take statements. But have a watch of that, Gary. I think you'd like that. Gary Payne is also tuning in as well. Rose Wood is watching as well. Dave Cramp has said, Hello, Cascar. Thank you for that, Dave. Nice bit of Greek right in there. Michael Wood is also watching as well. Lyndon Eriksson is watching. Maria Heidelberg in Sweden is tuning in as well. Nice to have you tuning in. Yanni Taskos is also tuning in. Nice to have you tuning in, Yanni. Also as well, Patsy Ann Dobbs, she says, good morning, Ginge. Happy Good Friday. Hope you have a lovely Easter weekend. Well, the sun is shining here in Margate. I'm so pleased. Sunny Margate. I've got some flowers being delivered to my mum today at the nursing home in Margate for Easter. And of course, Margate has a very large Greek community there. And they normally follow all the traditions that are followed here in Greece. So you might find Cliftonville, round by St Michael's Church there, feeling very Greek, all right, with the processions and everything else that they do. It's just as if you're in Greece, all right? And it looks like they've even got the weather as well. So again, keep an eye out for that. In fact, I used to be in correspondence with the Greek priest there years ago, and I remember him getting in touch with me, and I worked with Hermes about trying to send food parcels over to Greece because the news that they'd heard was so bad about what was going on with the economic collapse. And it was quite a sweet story, actually. It was showing how the media was really kicking the arse out of things, although there was a problem, but that was more in Athens with the food kitchens there. I used to speak with the Anglican Church over there about the feeding of the poor over there. I've not heard from them in a long time, so I'm not sure how things are over there at the moment with everything that's going on. But anyway, thank you for that. You just rekindled some memories there, Patsy Ann, for me. Anyway, Susie Angus is also watching as well. Al Park's up there in Catterick, where it's always sunny. Even when it's raining, it's always sunny. Jane Sharp is also watching. She says, Happy Easter from Barnsley. I love that. I'll be from Barnsley. And Alan Woodhouse is watching as well. Right, that's it from me. I'll keep my ear to the ground, see what's going on. Once again, just to remind you, it's crazy at the moment in the shops, all right, especially if you're going, should have all done it yesterday. That's all I can say. But the Greeks are always a little bit last minute, all right. So we went and bought all our meat and that at the cow butchers because they do good quality meat there. People live on the island will know where I mean, the cow butchers. Again, absolutely, people are just really excited because again, we're that close to the lockdown being lifted on Monday. This is the last imposed lockdown at the moment. The next thing that people really want to see is the SMS telephone thing being lifted as well. But at the moment, they're talking about that being lifted on about the 15th of May, literally 2 days before the holiday season opens. And also inter-regional travel being allowed at the moment. Inter-municipality is allowed, but not inter-regional, where that means you could get off the island and go to Athens for a little bit, or you could go off to Kalini, or you could even just go out for a day on the ferry and just ride across, get to Kalini, go up to the castle, have a coffee, have a little wander around, and then get the next ferry back. You know, just little things just to, you know, make you feel like life is worth living. And can I just say thank you to the lovely Greece's bulletin board, where the show is also posted up on YouTube, for the pictures of hidden gems on Greece. Places that if you ever get a chance to come and drive around Greece when all this madness is over, little nooks and crannies, little places that are hidden away, which would like you to visit, spend a few bob. You're not going to be inundated with millions of tourists there, just going for, you know, sun and sea, but also a bit of culture, a bit of the real Greece rather than what the resorts create, all right? So again, check the Greece's bulletin board for some of these little hidden treasures that are dotted around Greece that are always worth a visit, especially for us here in the winter when we're not worried about making a crust to survive the winter. We're all too busy working in the summer. So again, we look forward to being able to do a road trip again, because that's something we've not done in a long time. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Once again, can I just say Happy Easter, Happy Good Friday to all those people at the moment, whether you're Orthodox or not, doesn't matter. It's all part of the same thing. It's a day for people to reflect, people to be good to each other, and people to enjoy, all right? And again, don't get yourselves in any trouble, all right? The police will be out looking for excuses to create headlines, and we don't want that. We've just had Israel tuning in as well. Old Eric over there, Postman Shalak. Nice to have you tuning in, buddy. I wonder what it's like over there with Orthodox in Israel at the moment, if it goes as mad as it does when the other Easter celebration is on, because obviously the change in the calendars. It'd be interesting to see what goes on, especially when the two get together, Orthodox and the Catholic calendar get together, and there's literally fights with monks in the streets as they parade and dash through with all their icons and relics on their shoulders. It can be a little bit scary, you know what I mean? But anyway, I'm going to let you get on. I will see you this afternoon. Don't forget, broadcasting live from Studio One here in Macardo. 2 hours of your requests, a bit of my inspiration. Never know where the show goes, never know which direction it will take. And I know people really enjoy it, they look forward to it, and it's a pleasure to do it. So I'll catch you later. You take care and have a lovely day. Ta-ra.